It's not very often I actually cover 3D printing accessories, but this was one I was excited about from the moment I saw it. And it was over a year ago now I did a video talking about the best features that I'd love to see in resin printers. After all, since we've pretty much peaked on print quality, I think now it's mostly down to software and convenience features where I expect to see improvements going forward. And when it comes to convenience features, I actually supposed and hoped for a future where a company would find a way to make the process of replacing release films much easier than it is. Well, that day is here, and not from any specific printer brand, but from ChituSystems, who are the guys who make ChituBox Slicer, along with some of the controller components that go into many modern printers. The Hoopat product line is just as good as its name is stupid, so let's have a look at it. Hi, I'm Ross, and this is Fohammer Videos. So yeah, first up, this is a daft sounding name, right? Hoopat. I can only imagine this was conceived from the metal hoop latch mechanism and the fact that it's a vat. Hoop, vat, Hoopat. Yeah, I can't really critique it that much. If I was in charge of marketing, I'd have called it Vatty McBatface. But regardless of its silly name, it does exactly what we'd all want it to. If you've been around resin printing for a while, you'll likely understand the annoyance of having to change a release film. Unscrewing the frame from the base of the vat, unscrewing the bolts from each side of the frame, placing the new release film in, having to pierce every single screw hole as you sequentially reinstall each bolt, then trim the edge, and even just having a proper idea of knowing how tight the film should be, it's an arduous process that I know for many home users delay our next print to a time after we can be asked to actually do it. Now on the website for the Hoopat, God I hate saying that name, tell me I'm wrong, it just sounds so ridiculously stupid. Anyway, on the website for this thing, they say it's a 20-minute process cut down to 30 seconds, but honestly, that's a level of hyperbole even I wouldn't be comfortable with when I'm creating a clickbait thumbnail. Let's be honest, when it comes to changing these films, we also need to clean out the vat as best we can before we begin, and we need a decent surface to do the job on to prevent the new film from getting all scratched up before we even use it. Now I'm sure with practice, maybe in a print farm where you have multiple printers and you're doing this over and over, maybe daily, the normal process of changing a film could be as low as 20 minutes. But be honest, for anybody watching who has done this already, how long does it take you? Because I'd be more comfortable saying that this takes the best part of an hour, if not longer. And the claim of this new vat taking 30 seconds, well, that's just as unrealistic. It took me longer than that just to peel off the backing film. But we can all rest assured that yeah, this is still a much faster process because of all of the laborious unscrewing and rescrewing that we no longer have to do. With this, once you've got a clean-ish vat, it's a simple case of unlatching the hoops on each side of the plate, removing a retaining frame and peeling out the old release film. The new film is then put in its place and easily guided by the teeth in this frame. Now, it wasn't clear to me in the instructions if I should remove the clear backing sheet before or after getting this in place, but I think I found it much easier to remove it after. It kept everything more rigid until I got it in the right place. But once this is done, you just put that frame back into the bottom of the vat, bring the hoops over the frame, and then retighten the latches in order to fully tension the release film. Honestly, this whole process is an absolute breeze and something I think we all want to see on all 3D printers going forward. And as a bonus feature, it even has one of the best pour spouts I've ever seen. So if you've been watching a while, you know that shitty pour spouts are a pet peeve of mine. This proves it can be done better. So what's the catch? Well, it's not the cheapest accessory. At $70 to $75 on release, depending on which printer you use, it's about $20 more than the cost of a normal Elegoo vat, but over double the cost of an Anycubic vat, though these are at least metal. But once you've got it, you can get 3 ACF or PFA films, which will cost you $30 when you buy them separately, or only $20 when it's bundled with the vat, and at $10 or less per film, that's still pretty comparable to decently branded films without the pre-cut holes. Now, I do have a small concern that these prices could increase later down the line, but it is only a small concern, and to be honest, I've only really brought it up to cover my ass in this video in case that eventually happens. The one I used is the Hoopat X4, which is the model made for the Saturn IV series of printers. all of them, the Saturn 4, the Saturn 4 Ultra, and the Saturn 4 Ultra 16K or Plus, or whatever you want to call it, the new one. There's also the X3, which is for the Saturn 2 and Saturn 3 printers, also still great printers if you can find them. And the X5 is for the Anycubic M5 Series, which is not a range of machines I personally loved, but I am also surprised to see that there's currently no option for the M7 series, which are honestly some of the best printers Anycubic have ever made. However, as I said, mine was for the Saturn 4 series, which I used in my Saturn 4 Ultra Plus, the name I'm giving the 16K version of that printer because it's better. It's also not Saturn McSaturn face. The drawback for me is that now I've lost the heated vat functionality of that printer, which, yeah, gives me a sad face because I bloody love having a heated vat. Now, before I conclude, speaking of the Saturn 4 Ultra, either of them, one of the things I moaned about in both of my reviews was the lack of a monitoring app, considering they have Wi-Fi. The only function is using ChituBox to see what the printer's doing, and if you sat at your computer, then you can probably check your printer. But I was recently contacted by a guy called Pedro Martinez, who's actually created an iOS app for us specifically for this purpose. Whilst this only works on your local network, meaning you can't check it outside of your house, there's no out-of-home monitoring, it is still a handy way to check in on your prints without being in the same room. If you do use a mobile slicer like PicaSlice, which, to be honest, I don't know when that was last updated and I don't know if it's even compatible with the Saturn 4s, but you can also send prints remotely to the printer too, potentially from your phone, along with monitoring and cleaning up the internal storage. You can also take a snapshot and see what's actually happening to your print using the camera in the printer. So yeah, since this is a short video, I just wanted to take a chance to shout out an awesome app made by a community member, which could be very handy for some Saturn Ultra users. As for the Hoopat, God, still can't get over that name. As for this new vat by ChituSystems, yeah, I think it's solid. It's easily the best resin printer vat I've ever seen. Now, yeah, if you get this, you are pretty much tied into ChituSystems release films going forward. I suppose you could manually cut the holes in your own films to save a bit of money, but the whole point of this is to pay the extra money for the convenience you get from it. So yeah, don't see much benefit there. Anyway, I probably won't use it for the Saturn Ultra 16K because the heated vat just has more value to me. But I do hope that one day we could find a blend between the two. If not by ChituSystems, I would at least hope brands will look at this product as something they could add to their machines by default. Maybe they should add it. Yes, that would also mean we're essentially tied into the films that they sell, but so long as the prices are reasonable, this would be a benefit for everybody. This is the first time in probably a whole year now of reviewing printers that I've actually seen some serious convenience progress. So I guess thanks ChituSystems, please don't screw us over on release film price. I want to say thanks for watching, with a huge thanks going to our members who are on screen now. If you like the look of this product, maybe you've got one. Let us know down in the comments what you think so other people can take your experience, not just mine, as a reason why they should or maybe even shouldn't get one of these. As for you, please consider joining the member list to get your name up in lights, along with early access, exclusive videos, and Discord roles. Until next time, as soon as you don't tighten one screw, everything falls apart. Faux Hammer out.